Začíname teda s besedou s naším hosťom, anglickým hercom Guyom Henrym, ktorý hral Harry Potterovi, Star Wars a mnohých ďalších filmoch. Ja ho teraz zavolám sem na pódium, budem sa rozprávať a potom samozrejme vy sa budete, dúfam, pýtať. Môžete sa pýtať po anglicky alebo po slovensky, skúsim na tom preložiť čo najsprávnejšie a potom dostanete odpoveď po anglicky a ja vám to skúsim zase preložiť do slovenčiny. OK? Okay, so please welcome our guest, Mr. Guy Henry.
Ďakujem. Oh, thank you.
So there is water if you want to drink something during the
Water?
interview.
Fine.
Sparkling or not sparkling?
None.
So the still one, okay.
Thank you. They can't see you behind the table.
Yeah, this time I got this really tall table when compared to the last time. So, Mr. Henry, thank you very much for coming to Slovakia and to our convention especially. Please tell me, was this your first time in Slovakia, actually?
Yes, first time. And I'm really so happy with it. I think it's so beautiful. Tonight we go to the older part of town to have dinner. I'm looking forward to that. But it's very stylish, very cafe society.
Že privítal som pána Henryho tunak na našom kone a vlastne v našom štáte a pýtal som sa, či tu bol prvýkrát na Slovensku. Povedal, že áno, je tu poprvýkrát, cíti sa tu dobre a tento večer vlastne má v pláne vyraziť do našeho teda centra, pozrieť si vlastne historické centrum Bratislavy a hovorí, že videl, že mnohé tie kafé teda kaviarne sú veľmi štilistické, štýlové a teší sa na ten zážitok, keďže máme tiež nejaké to historické centrum, ktoré je pekné. Okay, so plans for tonight are set, but let's talk about, maybe yesterday you had a wonderful speech about dead people.
Yes, I mean, I learnt yesterday that the wonderful Michael Gambon from Harry Potter and many, many things sadly died 2 days ago. And so I paid little tribute to him. He was a lovely actor and a lovely man. And I had the pleasure of seeing him on stage at the National Theatre in Galileo by Bertolt Brecht. He was just one of the greats. He'll be very much missed, Michael Gambon.
No a včera na otváraciu ceremoniále sme sa bavili, bohužiaľ, už o zosnulých hercov v tomto roku a pán Henry vlastne povedal, že včera sa, alebo teda večerom sa dozvedel, že Michael Gambon umrel, čo bol jeho vynikajúci kolega, s ktorým sa výborne spolupracovalo a mali by sme teda na ňo spomínať a minimálne on má na ňo nádherné spomienky, že to bol úžasný človek. Oh, yes, that's really nice. We should really remember Mr. Gambon for his performance. Okay, most people what are interested in would like to know, how was your connection or how was it to star in such a franchise like Harry Potter? What do you think about the franchise? And did you read something about Harry Potter before, or was this just another role that you had to study for and prepare for?
I did a television film for the BBC in England some years ago, and the lovely director David Yates liked what I did. It was I only did 1 day's filming, and I was an etiquette teacher. Remember etiquette, the art of behaving well, manners. And David said to me at the end of the day, "I will find something else for you. That would be lovely." And a few years later, he was as good as his word, and I got out of the blue, Harry Potter was offered to me without a screen test or anything. So I was very honored to be the final minister for magic. You have nothing to fear if you have nothing to hide.
Že ja som sa vlastne spýtal pána Henryho na to, že v podstate ako sa dostal k tomu Harry Potteru, či to predtým čítal, alebo si na to nejak snažil. A pán Henry teda sa vyjadril, že hral v nejakom jednodňovom filmovom seriáli pre BBC, kde hral učiteľa etikety. A vďaka tomu režisérovi, teda, potom, ktorý sa mu zrazu ozval o neviem nejakú dobu neskôr, dostal práve túto rolu ministra mágie, ktorou vlastne presne bol v podstate tiež taký striktný, rázny ako ten učiteľ, povedzme, tej etikety. May we ask some questions of our visitors, please? Máte otázky?
Hola, hello, hello.
Poprosím našu asistentku.
Did you like Harry Potter as franchise?
Ja som tiež nerozumel, prečo Harry Potter ako franchise, alebo čo?
Ja.
Môžete to po slovensky skúsiť?
Viem.
Že by som to porozumela ja?
Že či ste mali radi Harryho Pottera ako knižnú sériu, alebo ako film? Veľmi. Či sa vám páčil? Áno.
Či sa mu páčila knižná séria a či to čítal?
Aj to, ale aj to, že či sa mu filmy aj knihy páčili celkovo, keď sa k ním dostal.
Či sa mu páčili aj filmy, OK. Mm-hmm. OK, the question was, I had to understand what the guy meant. So he was asking two questions. Whether you liked the book series, and also when you saw the movies afterwards, whether you liked the movies as well.
I didn't, in fact, read the books, and when I was offered the role, I hadn't seen any of the films, so I had the great pleasure of what we call a crash course in watching all the movies, one after the other. And and Harry Potter this is, and I must say I loved it. I grew to love it. It's old-fashioned good and evil, isn't it? And very romantic, beautifully done, and I was very proud to be part of it. But I have to say, to this day, I have not read the book. I'm a film person, not the book.
Takže tá prvá časť knižky vlastne dovtedy nikdy nečítal, aj teraz na konci rozhovoru, teda to, čo povedal, že doteraz nikdy tie knihy nečítal ani teraz, ale filmy, keď mu bola ponúknutá rola, tak si urobil tzv. Crash course, alebo teda maratón, že si pozrel všetky filmy naraz a bol z toho udesený, páčilo sa mu to, povedal, že je to proste taký tradičný film, ktorý má v sebe boj dobra so zlom, je tam romantika, zábava a páči sa mu, ako tie filmy spravené, takže áno, páči sa mu to, ale teda videl to až, keď mu teda bola ponúknutá tá rola a knihy doteraz teda nečítal. Ďakujem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next question.
I would like to ask a question about Star Wars. You played General Tarkin in the Star Wars, and how was it compared to the late Mr. Cushing? How was it to fill his role as General Tarkin? How was it for you, and how would you compare it to the franchise when you were playing in Harry Potter?
If you know, I played a strange role really in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, where I had to emulate, copy the great actor Peter Cushing, who had created the role of Tarkin 1977 and many years before. But of course I'm afraid he was another dead person. So they asked me if I would do the walking and the talking and the acting, and they would then fly me to Hollywood for Spielberg's Industrial Light and Magic and make my face and the acting underneath look like the original. It was an amazing thing. Very frightening though, very frightening. You probably want to go.
Takže bola otázka na to, aké to bolo hrať toho Great Boffa Tarkina. Nebol generál. A vlastne bolo spomenuté vlastne to, že to bola rola, ktorú vlastne vytvoril, alebo teda pôvodne hral úžasný anglický herec Peter Cushing, ktorý vlastne je mŕtvý. A keďže ten Rogue One je vlastne ten diel pred tým začiatkom epizódy 4 New Hope, tak bolo logické, že tam proste musí byť. Takže vlastne on bol požiadaný, aby hral a napodobnil, alebo aby to bolo tak, že ako by to hral ten pôvodný herec, to znamená presne jeho chôdzu musel napodobniť, spôsob rečí, všetky tie vyjadrenia a potom, keď toto spravil, tak odletel do Industrial Light and Magic, kde v podstate jeho tvár pomocou digitálnej technológie nahradili tvárou Petra Cushinga, ale v podstate všetko ostatné bol on, takže taká to bola taká špeciálna rola, pretože tento herec už umrel a ja, aspoň čo viem, tak pán Henry si toho herca veľmi váži. I told them that you really appreciate Mr. Cushing's work, so yes. It was an honor.
That is true. That's the frightening thing, the challenging thing was not so much, the fact that it was a great big film for Lucas and Disney and all that, but it was the fact that I loved Peter Cushing as an actor before I had anything to do with that role. I thought he was a really wonderful actor. And so that was really, I didn't want to let him down, when I was trying to portray Tarkin and sound a little bit like him.
Že, nadviazal presne to, čo som povedal, on nezobral tú rolu, pretože by to bol nejaký blockbuster, veľmi známy film zo Star Wars univerza, alebo že by to bol proste veľký franchise, ale išlo o to, že on osobne proste miloval prácu a vôbec toho herca Petra Cushinga a dal do toho všetko tak, aby, keby to Peter Cushing videl, tak aby bol hrdý na to v podstate, alebo teda, aby mu teda vzdal hold, že to bol presne on a proste nemohol proste ho sklamať. Takže tá rola bola takto špecifická, že sa vážne snažil mu podať hold, nebolo to len, že zobral nejakú rolu po nejakom mŕtvom hercovi, takže tak to bolo. Another question? Ďalšiu otázku?
Yes, when you were in Harry Potter, did they offer you a wand, and by any chance, did you keep it after you were done filming?
One more time, please. We didn't hear that. And maybe it would be better if you told it in Slovak so others understand, so I don't have to translate yours.
When you were in Harry Potter, were you offered a wand, and did you keep it by any chance?
The wand, no. There's a very a sort of myth, a pretend thing that there is like a ceremony where you are given the wand, and it's all so fantastic, and actually, a man called George from the props, the art department, just came up to me and said, "Here you are, Guy, here's your wand," and he gave me my wand, and there I had it. No, I don't have it. It's in the studios at Leavesden with my costume and my wig at the head of that long dining table.
Otázka bola, že či si nechal tú paličku z Harry Pottera zo svojej role a pán host vlastne reagoval na to, že existuje taká nejaká konšpirácia alebo nejaká taká bajka, že každý ten herec, ktorý tam hrá pri nejakej ceremonii slávnostnej dostal paličku, tu ju máš a pritom to bolo tak, že človek z produkcie, Peter was it? The guy from the production? George, sorry. Ja, že prišiel chlapík z produkcie George a povedal, že a tu je tvoja palička. Takže bolo to úplne takto jednoduché a nemá paličku vo svojom osobnom vlastníctve, komplet palička spolu s parochňou a celým jeho kostýmom je uložená v archíve štúdia, takže nemá tie veci. Vidíme.
Okay, hi, sorry, we came a bit late, so I don't know what questions have been answered and what not, so I apologize. I have 2 questions if it's all right. You don't have to answer them, but first one is, what's your opinion on J.K. Rowling at this point? I know it's kind of a controversial question, so you don't have to answer it, of course. J.K. Rowling opinion.
That will do better. No, I will translate. That will do better. Takže dohodli sme sa, že ja najprv preložím tú otázku, aby ste rozumeli aj vy, lebo potom je to také blbé, keď mám pamätať toto všetko. Takže naša návštevníčka položila otázku, že v podstate že je kontroverzná, teda je kontroverzná a nemusí dať ju pán Henry odpovedať, keď nechce, ale pýta sa, že aký je jeho názor na J.K. Rowlingovú po tom všetkom vlastne, čo sa deje momentálne a dialo v minulosti. Vzhľadom na jej správanie a iné veci.
Yes, I'm aware that JK has made remarks that are controversial regarding, I think, trans women, and it isn't something I would like to get into myself, but I don't actually know her. I mean, I've met her a couple of times, but I'm not a spokesman for her. So I do, though, think, generally speaking, we must be very careful to allow people an opinion. A friend of mine did support what J.K. Rowling said about trans and hasn't worked as an actor since, which we have to be very careful to allow and respect people's opinions, I think, rather than cancelling them down. I think that's what I feel.
Okay, and if
Môžem?
No, pardon.
Díky. Takže odpoveď na tú otázku bolo, že áno, je si vedomý toho, že J.K. Rowlingová mala rôzne handlivé a negatívne posty a komenty na margo trans community. A aj keď on nie je teda jej hovorca, ale že chce na to povedať toľko, že nie je to niečo, či by sa asocioval, ale že je to veľmi taký nebezpečný precedent, že momentálne si treba dávať pozor na to, čo hovoríte, lebo mal kolegu vlastne tiež herca, ktorý teda sa vyslovil za, alebo teda podporil jej komenty a odtedy v podstate nedostal žiadnu rolu alebo žiadnu prácu ako herec, takže momentálne je nebezpečné to, že nemôžete v podstate ani mnohokrát povedať nejaký svoj názor, nech akýkoľvek, pretože vás hneď proste zrušia. Alebo teda by to voláme, že cancel culture, takže tak. No.
There's a very famous saying, you probably know it, which is something along the lines of, I don't agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. I think people...
Áno, proste, že je také ustále, hovorí sa, že áno, nesúhlasím s tým, čo hovoríš, ale budem bojovať za to, aby si mohol vyjadriť svoj názor. Takže týmto sa v podstate asi riadi. Druhá otázka?
This one's a bit more lighthearted. Just like, I am a big Star Wars fan, and how's it been on the set? Like the atmosphere, I guess, and like the vibes and the actors, if you remember that is.
Som faninka Star Wars a teda chcem sa spýtať na túto časť. vašej kariéry, že aké to bolo byť v podstate na tom stage, v podstate na place, prepáčte, na place, na tom filmovom place, aké tam bola tá atmosféra, aké tam boli tie v podstate tie emócie, vibrácie, ako ste sa tam cítili?
Well, I've been very fortunate to be in both. You were talking about the comparison between the two franchises, if you like. As I said, for me, being in the Star Wars was really challenging for the reasons I've mentioned. And I think Harry Potter was a very happy set. The people on Harry Potter are delightful. They are very generous and friendly. The children, they've brought the children up very well. You know, it's a lovely, happy place to be. Rogue One had its difficulties, two different directors really. Tony Gilroy came in to direct some bits, and it had its tensions, but indeed it was largely reshot. 42%, I think, was reshot. But it remains, though, I think, one of the more popular of the films, I understand, which is lovely.
Tie dve vlastne tie značky Harry Potter, bolo to tak dosť iné. Najprv teda vyjadril, že prečo vôbec hral v Star Warse, čo bola jeho motivácia. A Harry Potter napriek tomu bolo také veselý plác, veľa detí, boli tam tie pozitívne emócie, kým naopak ten Star Wars bol viac komplikovaný a ovplyvnený hlavne tým, že to boli dva režiséri. A ten film vlastne, nejakých 42% toho filmu sa muselo pretočiť. To znamená, že bola tam takáto kontroverzia a napätie, ale napriek tomu v podstate Star Wars Rogue One, alebo u nás sa to volalo Darebak 1, ak si správne pamätám ten preklad, tak je to jeden z tých populárnejších z tej Star Wars série, takže zase malo to svoje asi dôvody, prečo to predstrihali.
Hello. So I have two questions. What is your favorite role so far? And who was your favorite co-actor in Harry Potter?
Že ja mám dve otázky. Prvá je, aká bola vaša najobľúbenejšia rola počas vašej kariéry, a po druhé, kto bol v tom Harry Potter film, alebo v tých filmoch Harry Potterovi váš najobľúbenejší herecký kolega. Yes, your favorite role.
I think my favorite role is actually a theatre role. What did you call it? The stage. With the Royal Shakespeare Company, played King John and it was wonderful playing him. Mosca in Ben Jonson Volpone as well. It's a great play. I've done a lot of theatre work over the years. I also have to say that I created a role in a British continuing drama series called Holby City, which was set in a hospital, and I was the very severe, strange man who ran the hospital, Mr. Henrik Hansen. And unlike Shakespeare, of course, many, many thousands and thousands of people have played Malvolio or King John, whereas Mr. Hansen in Holby City was only me, so I was rather proud of that series. Sorry, there's three there, aren't there? Long sentence.
But the problem is I don't know the home. What was the name of the hospital?
Holby City. It's a medical drama about doctors, yeah.
Okay, because I don't know it. Sorry, I apologize. V každom prípade teda Henry je pôvodne divadelný herec, takže má rád divadlo a je vlastne členom spoločnosti Williama Shakespearea, ktorá hrá práve tie tradičné anglické shakespearovské hry, a jedna z jeho teda tých obľúbených rol bola práve stvárnenie kráľa Johna, Jána, neviem presne, ako je to u nás, lebo the problem is the translation, I don't know the exact translation for King John. Because, for example, your nowadays king, former Prince Charles, is translated to Slovak as king, not King Charles, but King Karol. That's like So the problem with Slovak translation is that they change names. Okay. Že stváril kráľa Jána a potom ešte nejaké ďalšie role, ktoré spomínal, ale jeho najobľúbenejšie je práve to, že vytvoril jednu rolu a to bolo v Holby City, kde hral v nejakej nemocnici a tá vlastne ostala u neho taká tá najobľúbenejšia. Riaditeľ nemocnice.
And favorite co-actor?
There was a second question.
Sorry.
In Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Oh, Timothy Spall. I can't remember the name of the character he played now, but he's just such a lovely man, Timothy Spall. Do you know who I mean?
I don't think so. Was he bad, or?
Oh God, what did
or
he do?
good? Oh, yeah. He actually said who was it, so
Yeah.
I know it.
Okay, great.
Peter Pettigrew.
Yes, and also another Royal Shakespeare Company actor called David Bradley, who was Filch.
Filch, yeah.
Yeah, lovely man, fantastic people. But they were all lovely. They really were nice. It was a great, happy show to do.
Thank you.
Takže otázka bola, aký to bol jeho najobľúbenejší kolega popri hraní v Harry Potter filmoch. Venoval teda herca, ktorý hral Červivca a potom samozrejme Davida Bradleyho, ktorý hral školníka Filča.
Good afternoon. You played a small role in HBO miniseries John Adams with Paul Giamatti, and one of the founding fathers, Jonathan Sewell. So I want to ask, what was it like to prepare for a role of a historical character, one of the founding fathers of the United States of America?
Well, the director of that is a very frightening man called Tom Hooper. He's tricky, he is. Luckily, he quite liked me. But he did say to me very early on, because I was in the first episode, I was the first English actor as opposed to American. And he, quite rightly, the director said to HBO, we must have an accent that is not modern American, nor is it, oldie worldy war British. It must be, let's try and create an accent, a sound for the way people speak, because the people came from the south and west of England and a very bold Burr accent like that, and then of course, Paul Giamatti, I'll stop in a sec. Paul Giamatti is a fantastic man. He recorded a template voice based on a Suffolk stone carver. That's a place in England, Suffolk, and his rather flat voice like that, and also a sort of modern Massachusetts style American, and I worked hard at that. You want to say all that?
Takže otázka bola, ako sa volala tá séria z toho HBO?
Séria sa volá John Adams.
Áno, takže okrem toho, že hral Star Wars a Harry Potterovi, tak bola otázka práve na sériu John Adams z produkcie HBO, kde hral historickú postavu jedného z otcov zakladateľov USA, to znamená on ako britský herec Američana. A tam vlastne spomínal to, že režisér vlastne odôvodňoval, že prečo práve vybral si jeho, že tam potrebujú nejaký ten akcent. A predsa není to moderná tá angličtina, to znamená, že snažili sa vytvoriť nejakú kombináciu tých rôznych akcentov, ktorý by mohlo sa zdať, že je z tej doby. A preto vlastne tým, že je zo zahraničia, tak to mohlo pôsobiť, že teda je to také staré, ale absolútne sa nevystav v tých akcentoch, o ktorých hovoria, takže sorry.
And so I worked very hard at that accent, and we were sitting around the table to read through with Laura and Paul and the director and everything. And the director, Tom Hooper, said, well, if you can't do it, Guy, then we might just all as well go home. He said, so that frightened me. And then a couple of weeks later, I had to do a big speech at the top of a tower, and it was 10 minutes to 7 p.m. when we had to finish. The light was going. Tom Hooper, the director, was screaming and shouting at everybody like mad. And I had to do my big speech in sort of 4 minutes. And then I have to say, Tom very kindly said to everybody at the end, well, you see, Guy can do it. He did the accent okay, so thank God.
No a vlastne, keď sa bavíme o tom akcente, tak mali poradu, kde sa práve s tým režisérom Tomom Hooperom dohadovali na tom, že proste, že pokiaľ Guy nedokáže spraviť v podstate to nekáže, tak potom môže byť všetci domov, proste nemá to zmysel. A o nejakú dobu neskôr robili natáčali proste ten film a bolo 10 minút pred 7, to znamená, že práve končili natáčanie a Guy mal proste posledných pár minút na to, aby to stihol a za 4 minúty tam stál niekde na nejakej veži, ak som si správne zapamätal, a za 4 minúty dal práve tento svoj prednes a bol tak fantastický, že povedal, že vidíte, Guy to vie, Guy to dokáže. Takže... Nejaké otázočky? Kde máme asistentov? Tam vidíme na boku, na ľavej strane 2 ruky hore.
I'm here. Just got a mic. Sorry, came a bit later, but a quick question. I heard that the Harry Potter is getting the TV show reboot, and I was wondering if you are planning or were you offered to replay your iconic role from the movie franchise?
Takže to, že ste prišli neskôr, je úplne v pohode. Toto sme sa vôbec nepýtali, takže v pohode. Otázka bola na to, že momentálne sa chystá v podstate remake Harry Pottera v podobe seriálu a pýta sa Gaja, že či dostal vlastne ponuku zopakovať si svoju rolu v tomto univerze Harry Pottera v tejto novej podobe.
I would love to, but I think probably when you do a new project, you want to do it with new people and they will find their own cast, I suspect. But it would be nice.
Že určite by takú ponuku rád prijal a rád by sa vrátil, ale keďže predpokladáme, že ide o nový projekt, tak s vysokou pravdepodobnosťou oni si nájdu už v podstate nové obsadenie hercami, než by sa vracali k tým starým, takže taký asi jeho predpoklad, že to dopadne. By som bol poprosiť aj svetlo tam na publikum, ja fakt nič nevidím a neviem povedať, že kto sa niečo pýta.
Hello. Well, I have sorry, but since they switched the light on, well, I have three questions. Number one, what's your memories of your acting beginnings? Second question is...
Môžeme to stopnúť, že po každej otázke.
Áno.
I will split those 3 questions into sections. The first question you heard. Vlastne prvá otázka bola, že aké sú jeho spomienky na jeho vlastne začiatky, ako herecké začiatky, hej? Tak si to myslel, hej?
Áno,
dobre.
Herecké začiatky.
Yeah, he was asking about your memories of your beginnings as an actor.
Well, my audition for is a very famous drama school in London called the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA it's called, and I was lucky enough to go there, and I got my first proper acting lesson really from the principal of that at my audition, because I was pretending to be a character, Richard II, again a king, King Richard Icard II, by Shakespeare again, and the principal did not believe me. He said, I don't believe you are that man. And I said, well, don't you think it's difficult to be King Richard II in a hallway with a pool, a snooker table in the corner and a picture of Snoopy dog on the wall? And he said, no, you have to mean what you say don't illustrate, don't demonstrate. He said, be the person. It's an interesting lesson in acting. You have to mean what you say. You are that person. That's it.
Že jedna z tých prvých spovedok bola práve, keď mal jedno z tých svojich prvých predstaviteľ, alebo teda skúšok v Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, kde práve ten riaditeľ toho inštitútu povedal, že hral tam totiž, stvaril tam rolu kráľa Richarda II., King Richard II. A ten riaditeľ v podstate povedal, že neverí, že on je tá postava. Na čo teda námietka, že ako mám hrať postavu kráľa Richarda II., keď nie som kráľ a ešte dávec proste je tu okolo biliardový stôl, hej. Sú to také dve rôzne.
Robert, chceš to preložiť ty, alebo ja?
Akože ty dámske chlpy indických, ženských?
Takže, pokračuj.
Bola historka v podstate z nosenia kostýmu mnohých tých divadelnej hre, Shakespeareovej hre, ale to úplne zabudol s tým, že najnepríjemnejší bolo práve tá riadka, ktorú mal v Harry Potterovi, ktorá bola vyrobená práve z ochlpenia indických žien. A prosím, či to nevedia namočiť, či čo to bolo. Stačí, že? Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Hello. I have just one question. It's if you have some from filming Harry Potter, some most favorite moment from that filming that you enjoyed the most.
Že svoj najobľúbenejší moment z natáčania filmu Harry Pottera, ktorý mal najradšej, hej, to ste sa pýtali.
Ako, čo sa tam vlastne najviac užil počas toho natáčania, že čo mu tak utkvelo v pamäti?
Aha, what was the most, the best moment from the filming of Harry Potter that is still engraved in your mind that you really come back to?
What that I did, or no? I think.
Myslíte ako tu?
I remember the bit that I just thought was so beautiful is in one of the earlier films. Not me. Michael Gambon's, another dead person, Michael Gambon's predecessor as Dumbledore was Richard Harris. Beautiful actor, wonderful, emotional performance. And I remember being very moved by the fact that he said to the young Harry, yes, you may be worried by the bad people, but you have something that they haven't got, Harry. And he said, what's that? And that was my impression, what that? And he said, and he put his hand on his heart and said, love, Harry, love. And I love that bit. Sentimental, I know, but it's a beautiful bit of acting.
Že neviem, či to má presne odpoveď na otázku, ale v podstate jeho najobľúbenejší moment práve z Harryho Pottera bolo z filmu, kde on nehral, ale páčilo sa mu práve to scéna, ktorú hral Richard Harris, ktorý bol vlastne predchodca, ten prvý herec, čo hral Dumbledora. A jak tam v podstate Harry Potter mal scénu s Harry Potterom, že v podstate, že prečo sa ho boja, a povedal, že je jedna vec, ktorú v podstate sa boja, to, čo oni nemajú, tí ostatní, to je láska. Takže to bolo také dojímavé, pekné. Čača? Čača mi tu ukazovala, že máme už čas. Koľko je hodín, prosím? 50. OK, tak poprosím poslednú otázku, pretože potom nás chystá sa cosplay súťaž a preto tu vlastne asi aj Čače došla, aby ju vyhodila, takže sa ospravedlňujem. We got the last question because Čače came actually to remind me that we are nearing our limit. You are not rude. Okay. Takže posledná otázka, prosím. V prednej rade ruka.
Hello. So you kind of were maybe even piloting, maybe not so much, but your role as Admiral Tarkin was kind of like your performance, but CGI, like, oh, it was already asked, but like there are strikes in America with the VGS strike and everything. But what is your opinion with like all of this AI technology and how it is used, maybe even to replace acting altogether?
Otázka sa teda vraciame sa zase k tej role Grand Moffa Tarkina, kde hral tú rolu Petra Cushinga a vlastne otázka bola práve to, že tým, že tá rola bola ovplyvnená, alebo veľa sa tam použilo tých digitálnych trikov a umelej inteligencie na nahradenie tej tváre a momentálne v Amerike teda prebieha štrajk voči umelej inteligencii, kopírovaní mŕtvych hercov, vracanie ich medzi živých, že aký je vlastne názor na túto technológiu a na túto použitie?
Well, it's yeah, I hope that it doesn't replace actors because I love my job. Very much. I'm passionate about it. Artificial intelligence is an extraordinary thing. I mean, it's come very, very recently, it seems to me, and the world changes very, very quickly sometimes. And I find it quite alarming. You know, I mean, not only might it replace actors, but also writers. You can ask artificial intelligence to write something. Whether it could write Shakespeare, I don't know, but I doubt it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, perhaps we can all work together, AI and us. We can all help each other out, maybe, I hope. I mean, it is a funny world, because my mother is 85 years old now, and my father died in February, and she's alone now, and she doesn't have the telephone apps. She doesn't have these things, and she finds she can't pay for her shopping because she doesn't have the right technical equipment to get through this modern life. We must be careful not to leave real people behind, I think.
That's really alarming. Takže jednu z vecí, ktorú dúfa, že v podstate táto umelá inteligencia ho nenahradí ako herca, nebudú len v podstate umelí herci v tých filmoch. A predsa len je to niečo, čoho sa môžeme obávať, že v podstate umelá inteligencia nahradí takisto možno aj spisovateľov, že poviete, že napíš nám takúto knihu alebo nejakú hru alebo scenár, hoci pochybuje, že dokáže nahradiť Shakespearea, ale všetko je možné. Ale na druhej strane si myslí, že je to veľmi zaujímavé použitie tej technológie na nejakú spoluprácu a že tá cesta je možno práve to, keď budú herci a práve vďaka tejto technológii spolupracovať spolu. Že táto cesta určite dáva nové možnosti. Ale takisto povedal, že musíme dávať veľký pozor na to, aby sme nezabudli na ľudí, ktorých to môže proste úplne vyradiť zo života. Spomenul prípad práve svojej 85-ročnej mamy, ktorá nemá taký ten moderný telefón, nemá aplikácia a zistila proste, že nedokáže zaplatiť svoje účty za niečo, pretože to je jediná cesta, aká momentálne teda je možná v niektorých prípadoch. Takže nemali by sme práve zabudnúť práve aj na tých mnohých ľudí a vyčleniť ich spoločnosti len preto, že nemajú mobilné telefóny, tieto rôzne smart technológie. A na to si máme dávať pozor, takže to bolo také doplnenie. I think unfortunately, we have to go, but I really, really appreciate the time spent with you. I thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for your lovely questions. It's been very nice to speak with you. Thank you. Ďakujem. Thank you.